that day I got an accident. I'm told people thought I'm dead because I was burnt severely. I tried to do my level best. I realized my hands could not do that by myself, and I was even tired of explaining for someone to put this and put this. I left that chemistry practical that day and I cried. The pupils then there were not receptive at all. They could laugh at my disability and my appearance, and even the teachers will mimic about it and will giggle about it. You see, apparently the society understand that when you are a person with disability, you can only do things that are related to disability.
Hello viewers, and welcome to the Orion Production, the home of inspiration. I'm your host Jeff Otieno. On our today episode, you are having a guest, a very inspirational guest who has a wonderful story. Thank you so much. Niaje? Tunafurahia sana kukuwa kwa the show today. You are very inspirational. You have a very inspiring story. I would like you to share with our audience your story. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. My name is Haya Dennis. So Haya Dennis is, as just as said, I'm a law student at the University of Nairobi, and I'm a Kenyan. I'm a viable citizen who is responsible citizen, meaning I uphold the laws of the country. I am a student leader, or a youth leader, if you may put it. I am the chairperson for the University of Nairobi Students with Disability Association. And again, as at now, I'm the chairperson for all the students with disability in Kenya. So that is my titlement in terms of leadership per se. To talk about myself a little bit, I'm still in the process of schooling, and what I'm happy about is that education is meeting me up with my dream career. Nice. Education is meeting me up with the necessary people, and it is one of the best, sweetest thing I can say I've achieved in life, being educated. And now I started school just as a person. Although I got an accident when I was a neonate. When you study psychology of humanity and growth, neonate is an age of is a newborn person between the age of birth to 6 months. So I was within that bracket. So then I was a neonate. Now, so I got an accident. Then I was hospitalized for quite a number of time. Then when I got out of hospital, I was now a little bit older, 7 years. So I started school. I don't know, it was called Brightness, but I jumped. I jumped a class, and I got into class 1, class 2, and all that primary. So in the primary school, lower primary school, I was always in the top of my class, and I studied in a school called Nyangoma Mixed High Primary School. It's situated. It is next to the Nyangoma School for the Deaf, Central Dra. Central Dra in Siaya, in Bondo sub-county, in Nyangoma subdivision and location. So that is where I studied. Then when I was going to class 4, where I used to study was quite far from my home. So then I opted to residing to a nearby school, which was roughly 300 meters from my place of residence, which was my home. So when I got transferred to that school, I got a sheer shock, an utter disappointment from the normal way I used to live. So then I was getting into a new normal whereby the pupils then there were not receptive at all. They could laugh at my disability and my appearance, and even the teachers will mimic about it and will giggle about it, you see. So I never got comfortable in that primary school. So from class 4 to class 8, I don't remember having a serious study. I don't remember taking a book and sitting down studying with ambition to pass, because I didn't like that school, just because of the reception I got. Now, when I reached class 8, I did KCPE. I didn't pass because I knew well. I didn't pass because I've never read. Because the reception I was getting into there, the kind of discrimination and all that, as a child, they were traumatizing to me. So I opted to repeat class 8. So I came to Kisumu. By then, my sister was a teacher in the same school I got. I repeated at. It was a private school. And another shock, unlike to where I was, when I joined that school, the pupils were a bit civilized. No one could laugh at you the way I used to. No one could discriminate you the way I used to. So then I got the momentum again to study. So I passed so well. Then I joined high school, Kisumu High School.
Okay, how many marks did you got?
I got 370 something. I think 73 or something. I joined high school. Yeah. I added almost 100 marks from what I got in the previous.
Nice.
So you see, like, I not that I was not very bright. It was like I just had an attitude out of the reception, out of discrimination and stigmatization. And being that you are a child, you get traumatized a little bit. So I joined from 1 in Kisumu. Then that primary school was so good to the extent that I joined that school with a very visionary mindset. So at Form 1, I already know that I'm not only working, but I'm working to be a lawyer. So at Form 1 already I've set my goals right, that I want to be a lawyer in future. I remember when I was almost joining high school, I got a proposal from an individual who is a concerned member of the society to take me to a special school and to go and learn in a special school called Joyland, which was just next to Kisumu. Then I refused the proposal. I, for the longest time, refused to study in a special school. I wanted to study in a public school with the regular students. People who are regular, people who have no disability, let's say. So I joined Kisumu even after being given a better proposal of joining that school, because I was only going to pay 10,000 per year, and then I'm in boarding. So that was actually, it was like a lottery, but I refused. So I joined Kisumu. I'm amongst those people. Then I started just working hard. Then I was top of my stream. It was called Form 1 White. I started leading them from Form 1 first term until I left Form. And in between, I became a leader within Kisumu. Form 2, I became the class rep. Form 3, I became the environmental prefect. For the first time, I attracted the media, and a school which for the longest time was very dirty became very clean abruptly. Immediately, I resumed my duties as an environment, health and sanitation prefect. Everything changed, and the school was very clean, and we could even get proposal for invitation to host events which otherwise were not there. You get the point? So I did that in Form 3. offered a good leadership, and I realized students loved me. And I didn't know why, but I was loved. Of course, I did a lot of co-curriculum activities. I don't think whether I left any, because I did athletics to national, football to national, music to national, and for that matter, I was the best actor in Kisumu County in drama. So I realized again I was multi-talented. I was enjoying disposing without mercy my talents to the world. Well, and that institution. So on leadership-wise, when I was proceeding to Form 4, I was the school captain. And for the first time, a person with disability was being elected and went unopposed. Nice. All people who would vie viable by that time, no, when they heard that Higher is going to vie, they dropped off. They don't know who can even compete Higher. Get the point? So at Form 4, I still had the aim of being a lawyer. My motivation to be a lawyer was how I saw my people suffering, people with disability, because of draconian rules that are set that are not inclusive at all. And I told myself, then these draconian rules I'm seeing here will one day change. So that was my that was my background of motivation of becoming a lawyer and just changing the society as a whole. Listen, today, if you happen to be in any rural setup, those people are not even privy with the very clauses in the constitution that affect them day by day. So meaning, people know that there's a constitution of Kenya, Katiba Mpya, iliwekwa 2010, but people really barely know what is inside that. Yeah, I got hurted when a police officer randomly arrests someone on something that is unconstitutional. So my mandate with that vision was to ensure that the society, more so the disability people, are well informed of their rights, their privileges, their freedom, and anything that is envisioned within the rule of law.
That's very nice. Before we continue, okay, the time that you got an accident, how did the society take you? Mostly the people in your village, how did they react? And in school, how the school, your fellow students, how are they taking you?
I got an accident, and later on I heard that I was a very handsome boy before accident. Yeah.
You're still handsome.
Now, there was that regret that now then a very handsome baby boy is distorted. So that was first reaction. And that day I got an accident, I'm told, people thought I'm dead. Because I was burnt severely to a certain extent that people saw no life remaining. But I do thank God for His mercy, because I do tend to think that that superior being called Jesus Christ and God, they had a certain aim to keep me going, and I'm seeing it coming to be from 2027. Yeah. I'll be in Parliament. Amen. and I'm seeing it coming up. So the society were remorseful, and no one was laughing about it. It was not an issue to be laughed at. They were very remorseful, and they kept encouraging my mom that maybe this your boy will one day uplift you. And usually, in a society setup, when someone with disability someone is born, then has a disability in a homestead where there's no one with a disability in the lineage, then people tend to think that it's a taboo or something that is coming up. and they tend to hide these kind of individuals. I realized my mom was very proud of me. Of course, we were being manipulated with kind of offers. Oh, we are going to give you people, there's some opportunities for people with disability. Certain NGO come. My mom could carry me on her bag for several years to attend these forums, to be lied to, that we want to help you through this, your son. Yeah? So, because the society begins from your parents. So, from the reception I got, they were very receptive, welcoming, and comforting. Because at some point, my mom will tell me that, you see, you are unlike your other siblings. I happen to be the sixth born out of 8. You are unlike other siblings. You don't have your hands, but others, hata kama hawajasoma, wanaweza fanya mjengo. You get? So she told me that your only weapon to survive is to school properly, get highly educated, and get a good job. And truth to it, it was very true, because I was wondering how I was going to do fishery, how I was going to do mjengo, and the juakali, whatever, and even to be an artisan. In school, of course, there are mixed reactions. Some teachers are well trained to handle people with disabilities. Some teachers are very poor at it. Very poor at it, and to the extent they compose songs to abuse you. In class 1, there's a teacher who taught me in class 1 and composed a song in Kijaluo that was abusive to me, that I found abusive to me.
How was the song going?
All right. I want to put it in English. So the notes in that song are like, he was burnt because he went to steal mboga that remain, the remaining food, the food remain. And this person had some theft, went to steal, was a thief, was found stealing food in a kitchen, the food that remained, and therefore was burnt. So that were the notes. Yeah. So I found them abusive to me. Though the teacher was innocent about the song, but I found it abusive and discriminatory to me. Yes.
What advice can you tell your mama there?
But find another song. That song was abusive.
Okay. I hope wamepata your advice.
Let them find another song.
Okay.
Now, primary school, of course, students, I can't blame them as much, because they really have the mental capacity had not grown to the extent where you can give somebody a capacity of reasonable person. You see? So I will give them a window. So I no longer have a grudge with them. I give them a point, just a window that they had not had a mental capacity development to be reasonable people. Yes.
Viewers, hope you are enjoying the story of Haya Dennis. Let's go for a short break. We are coming back shortly. Don't go away.
Do you know your story can inspire, encourage, and uplift someone who has lost hope in life? If you wish to share your story with Orion Production, kindly reach us at My Story through our email address theorionproduction@gmail.com or through our WhatsApp number 0728654867 or call us on 0708286012. Visit us on all our social media platforms: on YouTube, The Orion Production; on Instagram, _Orion_production; on TikTok, the.orion.production. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share. The Orion Production, home of inspiration.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Hope you are enjoying the show on Orion Production, I hope you are enjoying the story of Higher Dennis. Let's continue with the story of Higher Dennis. Let's continue with the story.
Now, there's a point. When I was in Form 4, I did my KCSE. I was doing 2 sciences, biology and chemistry. And that needed both hands manipulation. So meaning I needed assistance in the laboratory and the graphings and all, measurements and all that. So even that included maths. I've never been frustrated as that time. So while doing my practicals in the laboratory, then I realized I cannot help myself. Of course, I was given an assistant who happened not to have a lot of knowledge in chemistry at that time. So she went ahead and poured all the reagents that I was to use and rinsed those apparatus. So I tried to do my level best. I realized my hands could not do that by myself, and I was even tired of explaining for someone to put this and put this. I left that chemistry practical that day and I cried. I was losing hope with studying law. I knew the best I could do is being a teacher. The same to mathematics. Paper 2. That day, because usually I used to operate with both hands. I used just to put a ruler and do some stripping and do measurements all the time. And I was good at it. My last paper in mathematics, I got 88. So I knew mathematics ni kitu nitapata A. It's rahisi sana. Woe to that day. So I'm sitting in room 2 in a corner. I've been given mathematics paper. Then I realized my hands develop technicalities and becomes extremely painful. And I cannot even put it on top of the table. I had to left it hanging. Nothing, if it could come into touch with any object, it could be very painful. Apparently that day, it has never happened to me, but it happened that day. So then I have to bring someone to explain to them how they should draw a graph. And you know, marking in KCSE are very strict. Once you've messed up with a slight measurement, and that measurement is not then accurate, then your 10 marks will be 0. So I think I got a lot of zeros. Because I was doing vectors, I did a graph, and I did some good measurements in paper 2, section B. So I tend to think I got nothing in section B because of that technical issues. In bio paper, again the same happened, practicals. My hand could not touch anything. For that period, I failed to understand why was it happening during my KCSE time. This is a student where teachers had a lot of faith in that will beat a lot of students. Of course, I was an university material, but now the question was, how much are you going to get? I was sure of some good grade, and I had even thought above law. I was now going for medicine, pharmacy. But it happened, and I hated KCSE for that matter. I hated being educated for that day because I was frustrated beyond repair. My principal called me and told me, don't worry, things gonna be fine. So I never bothered what results I'm going to get in KCSE. I never bothered even to check. I just gave my sibling, this is my index number, check at it and do whatever you want to do with it. I had lost hope. But I prayed to God that the best you can do to me, take me to law school. Not any other university, University of Nairobi. And true to myself.
How many marks did you got? I'm curious.
I just got a B plus,
Nice. And in mathematics?
C plus.
You did well.
I didn't do well, but
With those challenges,
I
you
didn't
feel
do
you
well.
did your best.
I didn't. So it was terrible, and chemistry I also didn't do well. So things like English that I knew, I passed and I was the best in English. Things like history, I got A's. So it hit me. But immediately I joined law school, I forgot about all of them. So I'm focusing, and I thank God that in law school I'm scoring well. The least grade I have, as at now, is a B. All of them are A's. So I'm looking forward to have a first class honor in law. The first person with disability to have first class honor in law. I'm really want to be the first, very fast in that.
Thank you so much. What about the society? The time that your parent decided to take you to a law school, what did the society say about people who are at home? Were people against for your parent to take you to a law school?
People were telling my parents to take me to special education. Apparently the society understand that when you are a person with disability, you can only do things that are related to disability. You can only be a teacher to people who have disability. I mean, you can only do special education and go and teach people with disability, maybe. So that is what the society wanted. But I'll be representing them in a court of law.
Okay, that's very nice. Okay, can you advise our fellow viewers who want to join the law school? What are the qualifications? What does a person needs to have for him to be recognized as a law student or to be in a law school? For you as a student of a law school, can you advise them on what they can do?
Thank you very much, Jeff, again. Last year, when we were doing career fair, I'm glad that I was part of it. So we brought students with disability in UN in high school last year, and we were advising them on the relevant courses. I'm glad that some of the students whom was sitting and was listening to me that day joined UN. Bear in mind with the advice I gave them that day. Fine. Particularly to law, most so it depends with the institution again. That is one. UN takes high grades, B plus and above. I mean, most of them are A minus and A's. B plus ni kiponyoka kama mimi. So in high school, what you really need to have, English or a language, any language, you must have a B. Kuendelea. So almost every relevant subject, the 4 subjects, English, mathematics, any business or the technical subjects, and humanities, you must have at least a B plain. Then overall is a B plus in UN. So that is the qualifications as at now to be a regular student by CUSPS. But again, for students with disability, there's what we call affirmative action plan. So affirmative action plan works this way. Usually, it was assumed, not that it was assumed, factually, a lot of students with disability start school late. The reason being, they got accident along the way and they had some time to be in the hospital. Like myself. Yes. And with that hardship, like there's a student now in my, which just joined, he's doing Bachelor of Arts. So this student, imagine, only was, during her entire Form 4, was only in school for 2 months. The rest were in hospital. So affirmative action helps these people. And they assume that you will at least have gotten an higher grade if you will be in school full time. So affirmative action, let's say you have a B minus. affirmative action will allow you to do a law degree in law school because of affirmative action. Because they tend to assume that if you would be in school full time and if you will not be having this disability, you will have still attained a better grade. So that is for my students with disability. Yeah, so that are just some simple qualifications. It's not very hard to be in law school. So it's now being in law school does not automatically qualifies you to be a lawyer. Again, there are due process that must be followed for you to be a lawyer or to be an advocate of the High Court. One, you must take your bachelor's degree for 4 years. There is no exemption about it. Full time and graduate. Then after graduation, you can be a lawyer, but not an advocate. Yeah. For you to, meaning you can be a lawyer to mean you know the law. You certified to have attended a law school, so you know what the law says. So you are a lawyer. You have graduated to be a lawyer, but not an advocate. So meaning at that point, you cannot represent any client in a court of law. You understand? Now, to be an advocate, you then, in the context of Kenya, you have to go to what a school called the Kenya School of Law, where you will be taken through the procedures of presenting a client in a court of law. The civil procedure and the criminal procedure. Then you graduate and you be admitted to the bar. Then when you are admitted to the bar, then you are an advocate of the High Court. Why is it always an advocate of the High Court? There's what we call inherent jurisdiction in law. High Court, the High Court of Kenya, with the preview to Article 165(6) Clause 3, mandates High Court to have the inherent jurisdiction, original jurisdiction, to hear all cases, be it civil and criminal. So meaning you are become an officer of the High Court. You are an advocate. Now, you can present any client. Then, as much as you are an advocate, there are guidelines that rule, that governs people. Advocates Act, how to conduct yourself as a lawyer, as an advocate in Kenya. Yeah. So if those due processes are not being followed, like now Mwendwa, you cannot be allowed to represent a client. Then that is a criminal offense.
Okay, before we continue, okay, what advice can you tell our viewers, those people that have gone, there are so many people that are going through your story, they are going through so much. What advice can you tell them? Can you tell them they have already given up, but you didn't give up, you strive hard for you to be in success, and now for you to be a law student, what advice can you tell them?
One thing, people who are in the category of disability, they should know two things. One, that they are not disabled. Two, they have the disability. So they are not disabled in doing anything. Reality is that people with disability now require special care as opposed to others. And to some extent, those special care are very expensive. So let's say a person in a wheelchair needs someone who can push them if they have not still been in a position to have the automatic wheelchair where you can control the electric. So they are very expensive. What I will tell you, my people, is that it will not be easy, but you have to ensure you put on a very brave face, a very stone heart, and forget that you have a disability, and think that you are a society. you are being around is being around of a lot of people. So you have an heart that give you a responsibility that when you fail in life, you're going to fail a lot of people. Because I do believe, as at now, when I don't become a lawyer, as I'm supposed to, I shall have failed a good number of people. So I am a society in myself. So then I will have to put a brave heart, a brave face, and a very stone heart. Because I cannot lie to them that with the rules, of course, there are some privileges existing. Those are not enough. They are not enough. They need a lot, and that a lot, life does not give them easily. They have to fight for them. They have to fight their space. My plea to them, to people with disability like myself, I see my friends, my sisters and my brothers, they're very meek. They don't want to stand out. They want to hide behind people. But that will not help you. Who will know you? Yeah? At least you should come out so that people to realize that however much you have a disability, then you have a greater potential in you that can attract people. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for gracing our show. We are very grateful. Okay, give our viewers your social handle, where they can find you, where they can get you.
I mean, in all the media, almost all the social media handles. In Facebook, I'm just Higher Dennis. In Twitter, I'm just Higher Dennis. Instagram, I'm just Higher Dennis. Recently, I joined TikTok. Although I'm still getting what to do with it as much, but I'm still Higher Dennis. LinkedIn, I'm still Higher Dennis. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Higher Dennis, for coming to our show. God bless you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear viewers, for watching the show and the story of Higher Dennis. Hope that you have been inspired. Hope that you have been educated on the story of Higher Dennis. It's a very inspiring story on how he has gone through, on how he was able to get an accident and he was able to overcome it. Dear viewers, hope you enjoyed the story and you know that disability is not inability, and don't give up in whatever that you want. You saw that Higher Dennis wanted to be a lawyer, and right now he's a fully professional lawyer. Thank you so much and have a good day. I've been your host, Jeff Otieno. Let's meet on our next episode. Goodbye.
Do you know your story can inspire, encourage, and uplift someone who has lost hope in life? If you wish to share your story with Orion Production, kindly reach us at mystory through our email address theorionproduction@gmail.com or through our WhatsApp number 0728654867 or call us on 0708286012. Visit us on all our social media platforms: on YouTube, The Orion Production; on Instagram, _Orion_production; on TikTok, the.orion.production. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, like, comment, and share. The Orion Production, home of inspiration.